Hello, Professor. Myself, Baji Babu Kolipara. This is my second semester in Southeast Missouri State University, and I am from Computer Science and Computer Science branch. Today, I am here to present a topic on machine learning algorithms, which is a novel brainstroke detection using machine learning algorithm. First of all, what is machine learning? Machine learning is the study of computing algorithms that can improve automatically through experience and by the use of data. It can be seen as a part of artificial intelligence, and machine learning can be known as it can be build a model by using some data which is known as the training data in order to make decisions or predictions without any explicitly programmed. We can use machine learning to predict decisions. Coming to the abstract, the brain is the most complex part of the human body. Brain stroke is a long-term disability disease caused all over the world, and it is treated as the death, third largest leading of death. A stroke occurs when part of brain loses its blood supply and stop working. Whenever the brain stops working, it can be considered as stroke. There are two types of stroke. One is uh, ischemic stroke, and the other one is hemorrhagic stroke. Ischemic stroke occurs whenever uh, blocked artery are leaking. Like whenever the blood is leaking, at the time it can be considered as ischemic stroke. And the hemorrhagic stroke occurs whenever bursting of blood vessels. Earlier prediction of brain stroke reduces the risk. Stroke happens mainly due to people's lifestyle and various factors such as high blood pressure, blood sugar, heart diseases, obesity, diabetes, hypertension. Unlike that, a random forest classifier and SVC to develop a machine learning model for predicting the brain stroke is used in the earlier stages. And nowadays, we can design by using KNN algorithm, which can give, which can give a better results when compared to the SVM algorithms like that. Coming to the introduction, nowadays brain stroke has become a major disease that is leading to death, which is which becomes a large number of diseases which increases very fastly. So as we need to predict of brain stroke in the earlier stages has become a very difficult and time taking. It will take many people to process like that, and it will lose and it is losing their lives. To overcome this, we are using machine learning approach to build a model to predict whether the person is having either brain stroke or not. A stroke is a medical condition in which poor blood flow to the brain causes cell death. There are two types: ischemic, which is due to lack of blood flow, and the other is due to bleeding, which is known as hemorrhagic. Both causes part of brain stroke, which means that the brain stops working, uh, and at the time that is considered as brain stroke. If symptoms last less than 1 or 2 hours, then that stroke is considered as ischemic attack. Transient ischemic attack, which is known as mini stroke, and hemorrhagic stroke may also be associated with a severe headache. The symptoms of stroke can be permanent. Long-term complications may include pneumonia and as well as loss of bladder control. The main risk factor for stroke is high blood pressure. Hemor- other factors also include like tobacco smoking, obesity, high blood cholesterol, diabetes mellitus. As uh, ischemic stroke is typically caused by blockage of blood vessels. Through there are also overcome causes. There are some other difficult other also there are also some other causes with ischemic attack. Coming to the objectives, the main objective of this is to predict whether the person is suffering with brain stroke or not, and also it helps to reduce the risk of patient, because at the earlier stages it is difficult to predict whether the person is having stroke or not. We are using the KNN model, which has high efficiency in terms of accuracy. Prediction of stroke can be made very efficiently and effectively. Medical fields can use this model to reduce the death rate of the stroke patients, and nowadays, and evaluating machine learning models for automated decision making is the one of the objective of this presentation. Coming to the methodology, we have different types of methodologies like classification model, training classifier, future extraction, processing, and all those types. We can do either step by step, and it is the best one is the classification problem. Classification techniques are an essential part of machine learning and as well as data mining applications. Approximately 70% of data problems 70% of problems in the data science are considered as classification problems only, are not the multinomial classification problems as well as the others. There are a lot of classification problems that are available, but the logistic regression is common and is a useful regression method for solving the binary classification problems in nowadays. Another category of classification is multinomial classification, which handles the issues where we are having multinomial classes are present and the target value. At the time, we should prefer the multinomial classification. All remaining of that, we should prefer the classification problem, which is the most popular one. And coming to the implementation, um, the implementation process is implementation process is done in 6 steps like data collection, data pre-processing, implementing algorithms, model training, model testing, and as well as prediction. Once we have done with all the steps, then we need to deploy our system, and we can implement by using flash, and we are using to implement this system by using flash framework. Coming to the first one, data collection. We are using different types of data in the system to predict the person's having any stroke or not. The first step to required for the implementation is the data collection plan. Without any data collection, we did not check whether the person is having stroke or not. And the next data required for this is we have collected from the some random website. We have used the Google web to check some data. We have used Kaggle website. The data set that we have collected has a total of some 5,110 rows and as well as 12 columns. The fields that present in our data sets are age, gender, hypertension, heart diseases, workday, residence. We have collected all type of data of a person, whether he what the age and the gender, he has any diseases like heart diseases, whether he has smoking status, like all these. We can estimate the stroke condition by using all these steps, whether the person is having any stroke or not. Here, smoke is the output status and the remaining all the considered as input parameters. And the next step is considered, and the next one is data pre-processing. Data pre-processing involves a lot of steps like treating missing values, removing outliers, label encoding, and as well as many. For our data sets, we need to include we need to import some libraries to perform all these actions like importing libraries, loading data set, and treating missing values, and as well as performing label encoding. We need to implement all these imports to data pre-process. Otherwise, we can't perform operations. And the next one is splitting the data. We need to split the data set as 90% of the data to train the model, and the 10% of the data is to test the model. For this, we need to import some libraries like train test split from the Skyline package. In this splitting, we have used the classes which have attributes like test size, which specifies that the percentage of the test data, and the another one is random state that have the classes like either 0 or 1, which is used to test the data from the data set. And coming to the KNN algorithm, which is the most popular technique which have been used in nowadays. It is the most popular techniques which have been used mostly. And it is the algorithm of supervised machine learning algorithm, which can be used for both classification as well as regression problems. However, it is mainly considered as useful for classification problems only. And KNN algorithms assumes that the similarity between the new case data and available cases, and as well as put the new case into category that is the most possible categories in nowadays. KNN algorithm store all the available data and classifies in new data point based on the similarities. And coming to the properties of KNN algorithm or lazy learning algorithm, KNN is a lazy learning algorithm because it does not have any specialized training phase, and as well as and it uses all the data from the training while classification. And the other properties non-parametric learning algorithm. KNN is also a non-parametric learning algorithm because it does not provide any assumptions about the future lying data, all those stuff. It does not provide any data. And coming to the implementing algorithms, we have used different algorithm techniques like logistic regression, random forest classifier, decision tree classifier, SVM, KNNF. We have used different types of algorithms, and we have considered that among all these steps, the KNNM is the best technique which has high accuracy. Coming to random forest classifier is also a learning algorithm which is used for both classification problems as well as regression problems. But most of the time it is used for only classification problems. As we know that forest is made up of tree and more trees, and more trees means more robust forest. Similarly, random forest classifier algorithm creates decision trees on data samples and then gets simplified to predict the data from each of them, and finally selects the best output from these. And coming to the logistic regression, is a supervised learning classification algorithm used to predict the probability of a target or target variable. The nature of the target or dependent variable is classified, which means that there could be only two values for the classification. Later, we have predicted for each of these algorithms and compared among them. We have got the best accuracy from the KNN algorithm when compared to all these. And it is about almost equal to 100%. Coming to the advantages of KNN, coming to the advantages of KNN, or it is very simple algorithm to understand and interpret the outputs. It is very useful for nonlinear data because there is no assumption about this data in this algorithm. It is a versatile algorithm, and we can use it for the classification as well as the regression. Both we can use for the classification problems and as well as the regression problems. And it has relatively high accuracy. Both there are much better supervised learning models than KNN, but it has very high accuracy when compared to all those algorithms. Coming to the model training and prediction, we have used KNN algorithm to to train the model because we got very good accuracy. And later after the training the model, we have predicted the results for the newly given inputs and got very good predictions for this by using KNN algorithm when compared to other algorithms. Coming to the performance in existing system, the method used for the implementation is in earlier they have used for random forest regression. They got accuracy about 98. When compared to the accuracy of the KNN, it is very less, and it is about 98. So KNN is the best to detect to detect the novel brainstroke detection of a person by using machine learning algorithms, and is very good. Coming to the deployment, we have used Flask framework to deploy the to deploy the model. Flask is a microweb framework which is written in Python. And these are the sample outputs of the system. Coming to the conclusion, it is concluded that we can predict whether the person is suffering from stroke or not easily in the earlier stage. Predicting the disease to reduce the risk of a person is very important. So with the help of this, we can benefit. I mean, like we can clearly says that the medical systems we use this system to predict the person having any stroke or not. Thank you, Professor.